creation, how does it work? Well, number one, what is a responsible creator who would be allowed to perform miracles? Who would you give that power to? Would you give it to everyone, or would you wait until the being can be responsible? Of course, you would wait until the being, let's say it's your child. You want to make sure that when you give them the power to create miracles instantaneously, that being, the child, knows exactly what they are doing, right? That's why we are here learning about cause and effect. We have little delay here in this world, and not so much power just yet, but it's awakening in us. But when we become completely conscious, which means we are all love, very huge, important point, distinction, a conscious being is all love. There is no room for anything else. And so when we come from this place within us of all love, and all our thoughts of love, based in love, which means so much, right? Then we can perform miracles. Then the 5 elements say, I trust you. Does that make sense? So then we draw to us. We are the ones who draw to us. We are the ones who draw life force to us. It comes through us anyway, just a little bit. Once again, in the world where beings are not so responsible, it's not a good idea to give them too much life force, right? Because if you give too much life force, you're going to end up with too much effect that might not be so pleasant. So we get a little bit of life force here, it runs through us. It's reading our mind constantly. Who is reading our mind constantly? Life force. And why? Because life force is constantly asking, what would you like me to become? What would you like me to become? And many of those thoughts are not so conscious, or we are not even aware of many thoughts. But life force is like a little stream coming down and constantly reading us. It's an amazing process. And then it becomes it. It always becomes it. All thoughts become things. They really do. It's incredible. That's how creation happens here. So what is it we are doing here? We are becoming masters of our own being. And who is a master of their own being is the one who embodied the divine self fully into the material body, and then let go of all that is not the divine self. It's okay to be in the material body, perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with it. The divine self is pure consciousness, pure love. And so there is no room for anything else. When this creation runs through us, when we are our divine self, we only create beauty. We only expand creation into more beauty, more harmony, more love, more light, more creation of, music. Music is very much creation. And so, as you know, we are in a process of moving away from the lower human self into the embodiment of the divine self. So then when we draw to us, we can draw to us even more life force. We can say, hey, I want to create something. I have this great idea. I'd like to create a temple, by the way. For example, like temples, what a great thing. Within the ethers, we have many temples. And why do we have temples? We do want to honor the divine creation by creating more and more beauty, architecture, divine art, for example. So when you go to higher realms, the beings love creating temples, expressing divine architecture, geometry, beauty, sound, color, all of it. And so let's say that you want to create a temple. Well, first, you as a human being have divine desire within your heart. And that is not, I want a temple for myself. That wouldn't work. But I want to gift this amazing desire that was born in my heart. I'd like to be the architect of a temple in the divine realms. I'd like to invite other beings to play with me and to be able to enjoy this amazing beauty that is being birthed through my heart. And then you call upon the particles of creation. You call upon the elements that have to create it. No matter in which realm we are, elements do create. And so then you draw them in. And because you are so magnetic, you are so in love, they love you too. Everything is a reflection. This love calls them to you, and they trust you. They know exactly you are selfless, you are completely inspired by the divine. And then they come into your heart. They really do. And then they sit in the heart for a moment. That's why there is a pause. And in that heart of yours, this is the ideal creation, right? This is when we are filled with love, and there is only love and only consciousness. When they can trust us to create beauty and perfection and harmony and be selfless, then this beautiful creation is first birthed in your heart. When it is fully established in the heart, it is sent up as a signal, as information to the divine mind. And then the divine mind is really the architect of this and says, okay, this is how you do it. This is what's needed. Okay, this is where you go. Perfect. This line here, this roof here, this garden here, this bench here, this court here, these plants here. The mind then becomes the one who is the one who executes it. Is that the word? Hopefully that's pronounced correctly, the divine architect. And so then the divine mind is serving the heart. That is creation at its best. And so then it is sent into the ethers, and the beautiful elements come and they just create it all. They become it. This is what we call miracles, but actually that's our true nature, to perform miracles like this. And then it's there. Perfection has been created, the elements became it. And now the next step that I learned from these beings is detachment. And that is the final step, detaching ourselves from what has been created and allowing it to just be, instead of saying I created it, because of course that would be distortion. No. The divine source created it through you. And that's how we become instruments of the divine.